ready, we ready, we ready for y'all. We ready, we ready, we ready.
Hey, hey, hey. Good evening. Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Special teams show. Just two of the brothers here this week so far. We're hoping that we can drag the third one in here. He's having some technical difficulties. If not, we'll make sure that we get the show going. So you've got Reg, the little, and then myself, Rick. So we're here for special teams show to talk some football, and
We're missing the
what?
middle.
We're missing the middle. Yeah, we're missing the middle.
And the worst part is the middle. I haven't even looked at his picks this week, but I'm sure they're going to be messed up. So we'll try our best to explain them if he doesn't show up. Like we got to come up with something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Otherwise, special teams show, week 15 recap. Strap your helmets on and let's go.
Let's get it.
All
Baby.
right. So I know it was a tough week for a bunch of us to watch football. We had a lot kind of going on in our personal lives. So we all did kind of the best we could. A bunch of Saturday games, a bunch of Sunday games, a couple Monday games. Oh no, just one Monday game this week, right? Just one
Yeah,
Monday
just
game
the
this week.
Eagles
Yeah,
Seahawks,
yeah,
but
yeah. That's
we
right.
had 3 Saturday games and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was an interesting week. Things kind of settling out. We're starting to see the playoff picture kind of take shape. So we'll talk about the recap. We'll recap all the scores here, and then we'll get into me and Reg talking the preview for week 16. Cool,
Hell yeah, let's get it.
cool. Let's do it. Okay, so I included Luke's in here. I know Luke wasn't able to be here. He's not feeling very well, so hopefully he's feeling better here soon. We'll get him back here hopefully next week. So this is the Chargers and the Vegas Raiders. So three of us, the three brothers here, we took Vegas here, and they stomped the shit out of the Chargers, and eventually got Brandon Staley finally fired. It took an ass whooping like this, an embarrassing ass whooping.
Absolute ass whooping. Um, I started. This is one of the few games I was able to watch this week.
Yeah,
Because like you said, we got some stuff going on the weekend, and I turned it off when it was 21-0. So it was like 8:30, and I was like, "Well, this game's over."
don't
And
need
I
that.
just,
Yeah, it really was.
yeah, it was really bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'll just go to bed. It's great. And then I woke up and I saw 63, and I thought, holy smokes.
Yeah, and then you ran to your draft or your parlays and that said, "Did I hit?" And
And
well, here's Reg's. And guess what, folks? Bam, nailed it.
nailed it.
Yeah,
Uh, so the Reg backers out there, I know there's only like, 5 viewers each week, but there's some Reg backers out there. If you backed Reg earlier in the season, betting 1 unit, you've covered for the whole season with just that first bet. This bet covers you for all of next season if you're betting 1 unit
oh shit,
and you back with Reg. So
doing them. It's a lot of
maybe
math.
we can hit another one and go all the way to 2025, baby. So
It's a lot of math. Rob, I got told all weekend long that Rob hit his. And so he had Devontae with 2 touchdowns and Aiden O'Connell with point 0.5 passing touchdowns. So he hit the Aiden O'Connell one. And I got told that he hit the Devontae one. So that was basically, and then it turns out that we sorted it all out today out of all that scoring, and Devontae actually only ever had 1 touchdown.
Yeah, Rob
So
goes, yeah, I hit my parlay. I said, what the fuck you did? I'm pretty
yeah,
sure he only got
I'll
one
think
touchdown
so.
because when I checked, I was like, I had to check for the Devontae score because it came
Yeah,
late, and I'm pretty sure it was a pass from Jacoby Myers. So
yeah,
it wasn't even an Aiden O'Connell. Like they were just like playing, they were toying with them at that point.
yeah,
And
yeah. It was
I
pretty
knew
gross.
that was the only touchdown he had. And I was like, are you sure that he got 2 touchdowns, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't fare very much. I didn't fare any better. I took a four-legger here, and the only thing I missed on was just shy on the Austin Eckler yards for me to hit. But obviously, you can see that my betting line wasn't too extreme, so I wasn't bringing in the big money there. Otherwise, falling slightly short. So Reg's the big winner this week. Rob and I took the L. Rob still has not won one, and I've only hit one myself.
That's no surprise that Rob hasn't hit,
Yeah, him not showing up tonight is really bad because we could literally take as many shots as we want at him at this point.
well,
And he can always go back and listen to it later if he wants.
he's probably listening right now.
Probably. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Okay, so the rest of week 15. So Minnesota 24, Cincinnati 27. Real close finish there. Uh,
So, I'm driving home as this game happened,
yeah.
and I stopped for gas, and I'm like,
What the
holy
fuck?
shit, it's going to overtime.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and then I look and it's like Nick Mullins is like 25 for 30 or something. I'm like, what is going on here? And then
The
sure
one
enough,
I'll tell you something about Nick Mullins. He will do some shit and you'll be like, man, look at this kid go. But he will definitely lose you a game. He will do something so stupid that you are like, what
oh,
the
he's
hell?
a quarterback. Oh damn, good shit.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, yeah. So he was a quarterback in San Francisco, and yeah, it's bad news there.
Yeah,
Did you see the T Higgins touchdown?
no, I didn't even go back and watch it
Oh, you
because
should.
I was kind of sad because I looked at the box score or whatever you want to call it, and we were up 14 points going into the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and then we still blew it, and it's just like,
yeah.
come on, man, come
Come
on,
on,
man.
man. Come on. Can we switch? Does this work this way? Hey,
It
can we? Can you
does.
still see that?
I can see
No.
it fine, but like I don't know. I mean, the viewer, fuck the viewers, right?
Oh,
Do they need
it's
to?
all good. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, Pittsburgh 13 and Indianapolis 30. So this officially makes it Tomlin's first losing season.
Oh
So
damn!
yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Tomlin's never having a losing season
Wait,
record.
is that true? It says they're
Yeah,
7-7. Or
I
am
don't
I
think so.
confused?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Let me just go look here.
I got the
Maybe,
Colts at
maybe.
8-6. I got Steelers at 7-7.
Oh, I thought for sure. I read it somewhere that he was uh,
I
maybe
mean,
no
they're playing the
playoffs. Maybe no
Bengals.
playoffs. No,
Okay. I was gonna say they're playing the Bengals and the Seahawks, so
yeah.
it could very
Maybe it's
well
just
be a
sorry. They
losing
could still
season.
have a winning season, but I think they're eliminated
Missing the
from the
playoffs.
playoffs. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll
Yeah, they
double
got the
check that.
Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens coming up, so it's
Yeah.
very, very well could be a losing season.
I mean, they could still get in there. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I could keep. I thought maybe it was just people forecasting that it's a chance that he could, for once, he could have this season. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what it
Yeah, I
is.
mean,
But
like the
either way,
Seahawks and Ravens could very well beat them, and even this weekend they got a matchup that I'm interested to see the picks of. So
yeah, it's tough. It's going to be tough sledding. Um, Pickens, the wide receiver,
yeah.
he doesn't have a great reputation right now. You see a lot of the plays that he's involved in where requires a little bit of extra effort on his part, where maybe he was away from the original play and it needed, maybe it was a turnover or maybe blocking downfield or whatever,
Yeah.
running, like actually running his route. And so, when you go back and you think about all the Pittsburgh, or like the recent Pittsburgh Steeler prima donna wide receivers, like, Chase Claypool, Antonio Bryan, like all these guys that have turned out to be kind of crappy people. It's kind of the history there. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because the kid seems like he's talented, but he's just not playing great team football.
They had the same thing with Deontay Johnson like 2 weeks ago or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, so is there something just going on in the wide receiver room that's like,
I don't know. There's just, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of crappy to watch. Like, you don't want to watch players give up on like that, right? Like, I'm very fortunate. I have a wide receiver room that blocks like literally all the way down the field, right? So I never ever see that kind of stuff. So it's really difficult to watch that kind of happen. So
for sure.
Okay, we've got Denver 17, Detroit 42. So Rob and Reg took Detroit. I was hoping that Denver would sneak this one out. Thought maybe it would help out my pick'ems. It did not. So I took the big loss there. Tampa Bay 34, Green Bay 20. I really thought Green Bay could win this game. Jordan Love looked awful.
Yeah.
He needed this game. Yep.
Baker looked great though, right?
Baker looked great. Well,
he 400 yards or something like
perfect
that.
pass. He had a perfect passer rating. He had the perfect passer rating. So played really well. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that Tampa's going to come away with the seventh, whether they make it very far in the playoffs or not. But I do think that they're the stronger team in the South. Green Bay still in the hunt for the. We'll see it here when we do the playoff forecast, but Green Bay still in the hunt. Although there are chances, I think I read somewhere they've got a 17% chance when they look at the those, what are they, the gen stats? Those
next gen stats,
next gen stats.
Yeah,
like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Bezos. Well, no, it's not. Oh yeah. Anyway, this game, this one was a tough. If you watch this, first of all, this Atlanta Carolina game. So we took Atlanta across the board, of course, because there was 4 of us taking Atlanta. Carolina happened to squeeze out a win here at home. But if you tuned into the game at all, it was an absolute monsoon going on, and there was nobody in the stands. Literally nobody in the stands. There was reports of tickets being sold for 40 cents a seat.
Yeah, and nobody even bought them. I remember looking at when I saw it, I saw that news report, and then when I saw the game and I saw all the empty seats, I was thinking, what the fuck? But obviously it was like a monsoon, but still, it was just, that's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
You can't just put on a poncho and go hang out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean it's football. I mean, it speaks volumes for both teams, right? Like, even like, you've got your team. Let's say you live in the area or whatever. Georgia. Yeah. Anyway, so either way, can't fill the stands. Looking bad in Carolina. They better sort things out, or that franchise hasn't been very good for a little while. So.
Because that's also a division rival, right? Like
it is. Like
it's something where it's like the stand should be full no matter, like, any division rival. It should always be full.
Well, yeah, like if you haven't seen it, pull up the picture, because it's not pretty. Like any of the replays, like you can see is empty.
4 people in the stands. Yeah, it's
like rows of empty, and then there'll be like a pocket of people, and then rows of empty, and it was bad. Giants 6, New Orleans 24. They were taunting the DeVito so much in this game. They constantly, they were like, screw you, you piece of crap, and basically they ran him out of town.
Every time they sacked him.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so New Orleans gets the win, the Giants take the L. Probably not surprising there. Again, another one I thought that maybe the Giants were a little bit, at least had an opportunity. I still didn't think that New Orleans was super strong, but obviously much stronger than the Giants. This next one was a tight one. Houston, Tennessee. Houston just barely got out with this one. Really, really tight all the way down to the end of the game. Houston 19, Tennessee 16. Rob, Reg, and I.
The big game-winning drive there.
Yeah, but he also made some terrible mistakes, and
Oh
it
yeah.
looks like CJ Stroud probably isn't playing this week. So Houston's kind of on a lifeline right now. They're not in a great position to be giving up games. So oh boy, so they better be careful.
Yeah, and it's a tough game this week. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that one in a bit. Chicago 17, Cleveland 20. Man, like this was actually apparently a pretty good game to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing.
yeah.
But this all but crushed all of Chicago's hopes. So to get into the playoffs, I think their percentage is like 0.04% or something like that to get in.
Oh, you're still
Um,
alive though.
Still alive.
Still
Still
alive
alive.
for your dark horse.
Still, well, this isn't. No, my dark horse was Houston. My long shot. Remember, a couple weeks later,
Oh, okay,
Rob
okay,
wanted
okay.
to do long shots. This was my long shot.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember looking at the score and Chicago was ahead going
yeah.
into the fourth or in the third or something like that. I think they were up 14-7 or something like that. And I was thinking, fuck, Cleveland gonna lose to Chicago. That's kind of sad. But Chicago's been like, I'm pretty sure they've been in every game the last few weeks, right? Like they, close one with Detroit last week, barely beat Detroit a few weeks ago. Like they just seem to be in games, but
Yeah.
can't close them out.
Yeah. The Jets 0, Miami 30. Yeah, the Dolphins spanked them.
Yeah, the Jets back to scoring no touchdowns. And Miami with a statement. They beat the hell
Yeah,
out of them.
yeah. Basically, this eliminated. I think this mathematically eliminated the Jets from the playoffs. And all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have been 100%, so therefore he will not be playing.
This season.
He would have only returned if he was 100%, and it's not possible to do it after 14 weeks, is what he said this week in the news. I really wish that this guy would just never talk and just let all his seriously. Like, I try to really hard to like Rogers as much as I can,
Yeah.
but when I hear him talk, sometimes I'm like, you are self-centered, egotistical as shit. Like you really are.
Condescending.
Like you're just like you're yeah. Anyway,
you know what the benefit of this game is, and I'm sad is with Tyreek Hill being out, Jalen Waddle got like 100 targets and 5,000 yards and 17 touchdowns, and I lost my fantasy football. So
oh no,
after all the
oh
shit
no.
I've been talking, I lost my fantasy football because Waddle got like 35 points or something. It was insane.
Yeah, I got pounded too. Okay,
We might play
Kansas
each other
City
this week then.
Yeah, maybe. Kansas City 27, New England 17. Kansas City across the board. Kansas City needs to return. They need to start winning again. New England, if they had lost to New England, there was serious trouble for Kansas City. But they did win one. They were supposed to win this one. They did. So good stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it like, oh, they'll just implode if. Like, I think I picked Kansas City and I said I'd love to see New England win, but
yeah, because Kansas City would have folded. Like it felt like they were on a very delicate balancing beam at this point, and it could easily snap, and they'd be in trouble. Morale wise, you know what I mean? Like locker room wise, like that's where I thought I was like, oh, this is scary. Like this could creep into the locker room. So, Washington 20, LA Rams 28. I locked in on these guys. The Rams would pick them all the way across the board. Washington's not super great. The Rams playing pretty good football. They'll probably find themselves in the playoffs. And who knows? Maybe they'll find an early round upset.
The Rams are on like a 4-game. Well, sorry, they lost in overtime to the Ravens last week, but then they won. They're 4-1 in the last 5, which is quite crazy.
Yeah, playing good ball. Yeah, playing really good ball. Really, really good ball. Niners in Arizona. Arizona probably scored a lot more points than should have allowed. bunch of defensive tackles were sitting for San Francisco. Otherwise, the game looked pretty standard, kind of, I guess, what you would expect. Arizona kind of hung around early, and then San Francisco kind of jumped on them. Defensive touchdown, things like that, made the score go one-sided pretty fast.
Yeah, I think I saw that they jumped out to the lead and then it's died off. Or sorry, and then the next time I checked the score, it was like San Fran's in front, and then I checked again and San Fran was just pounding them. So
Yeah. It was pretty standard operating procedure, which is kind of what you expect for Arizona. You're always worried interdivision, that kind of thing. But Arizona's not in the position right now to compete with these top tier teams, right? So if they get a win, it's an any given Sunday kind of win. Everything aligned. The other team kind of shot their own foot. That kind of stuff. That's the kind of games that Arizona's winning right now. But kind of Carolina, same thing, right? Like Carolina's not going to win games, right?
Yeah.
Unless shit happens. So
yeah,
Dallas 10, Buffalo 31. This one, Buffalo looked the part here. Buffalo, damn it, they were good in this game. And a different kind of offense in Buffalo. Their running attack is strong. They look really, really good.
Yeah, they Josh Allen threw the ball 15 times. I think there was a lot of weather in this game. Is that right?
I don't know.
Either way, like they just ran the ball with James Cook, and he got 180 yards.
Yeah.
So they just controlled the game that way, and Dallas may have got exposed for not having a run defense or something, like because
Possibly.
Buffalo isn't a running team. Like,
well, yeah, but you have to remember with an offensive coordinator switch, right? They could be anything at this point, right?
Yeah.
Instead of depending on Josh Allen to throw, 45 times a game, maybe there's something else there, and maybe this is the real identity. So, Mike, are you still around? If you're still around, are you asking? What were you asking? That was that.
It was a Purdy standard game for the 49ers.
Oh,
Purdy
okay.
standard.
I thought he was asking like if that was a standard game for Brock Purdy. I thought that's what he was asking, but now I'm never mind.
Pretty
Anyway,
standard, but it's
Purdy standard. Yeah, it's Purdy standard. Yeah, I get it. All right, I'm slow. Baltimore 23, Jacksonville 7. They are the number one team in the AFC, and they play like it. Lamar Jackson is really, really good. None of this is a surprise to anybody. Jacksonville is not really good right now. They're not playing great ball. They're sloppy. Trevor Lawrence is sloppy. A lot of turnovers and things like that going on in these games that, man, a team that is currently number one in the AFC South, looking to make a move in the playoffs, it's not looking great for them right now. So they better put their shit together.
Like the Ravens are very good. But the only score they got here was blown coverage for like Jacksonville. I'm pretty sure it was a blown coverage. Like it was a 65-yard pass or something like that.
Yeah.
Jacksonville couldn't get anything going, and like I've been on the Jacksonville train most of the season, and it's like I don't know, and I don't know if it's just Baltimore. Like I mean, they've looked sloppy the last couple of weeks, but I don't know if
ever since the Niner game they've
looked
looked
worse. Yeah,
it was almost like the Niner game exposed what they were, and it's been kind of rugged ever since.
Most teams after the Niner games haven't looked great. So
yeah. Well, Dallas bounced back.
Just do something to them.
Dallas bounced back. So speaking of teams after playing the Niners, Philadelphia 17, Seattle 20. Not taking shots at Philadelphia or Seattle in this case, but I didn't feel like Philadelphia was in a place to win this game. And if you see some of the comments after the game where like Jalen Hurts is saying something like, what did he say?
He said
we're on the right minds or not committed. Yeah, not committed enough. Like, oof, that's a tough thing to hear.
Have
so
the right level of commitment or something like that.
Yeah,
and
something along that line.
I think he was very sick though, is what people were saying. So
yeah.
But I mean, Philadelphia lost this game. It's either that or Drew Lock won the game, or not Drew Lock, the wide receivers, because that last drive, Philadelphia just like it almost felt like they gave up, but also DK Metcalf makes an insane catch from between two defenders, and it was crazy. And then what's Jackson Smith, whatever his last name is,
And Jigba.
yeah,
Jigba.
exactly, like
Yeah.
absolute dime from Lock. Yeah, I can't believe Drew Lock drove them 90 some odd yards just to finish it out. But I
He
think
played.
Philadelphia blew it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Well, Drew Lock played really well against San Francisco too. Like, I don't know. You probably see him. Have they made an announcement there in Seattle yet? If whether or not him or Gino.
no, I don't know actually. I imagine you run with him, right? Like he's playing well.
Well, they just announced. Well, see, with Drew Lock, they announced him like last minute, right? So this week they were going to go with Gino. So, but yeah, I think you run with them. Either way, I think Philadelphia's got a matchup this week where they kind of bounce back, so it should be good to go.
Yeah.
The happy birthdays are rolling in, man. Happy birthday, brother. Yeah, I already
Thank
wish you
you.
a happy birthday earlier today, but Showtime wise, Reg's birthday today. The little is his birthday. So
Not
happy
so
birthday
little
to him.
anymore. I'm all grown up,
No.
you know.
All grown up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all grown
so,
up.
All
Thank
grown
you.
up.
Thank you.
All right. So this is how it looked this week. Reg and I, 12 at the top. So we're kind of we're increasing our distance from Rob. Rob ended up with 11 this week, so he's trying to keep pace. But yeah, we're sitting. I think the year to date is actually off.
It is. I should be 110 if you're 112.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't
you're
think
right.
Rob's
I'm up by.
only 8 behind me. That doesn't make sense.
You might be 112, and
I'm 112. You're 114. I was gonna say I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Rob's 10 behind me.
Yeah. Let me just see.
Yeah. You know, I was kind of on the fence about the Bills Dallas game.
Yeah.
And then when Monday night was coming, I was thinking, fuck yeah, the Eagles are gonna win. I'm gonna get a game up on Rick, and they didn't win. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I really thought I was like, oof. It was looking
I-
not pretty. I went through a stretch there at the 1:00, like the 1:00 games
Yeah.
on Sunday, and it was not pretty. And then I
I
thought,
think you
"Oof,
dropped
this
4
week."
in the 1:00 games.
Oh, it was ugly.
Yeah, I think this week is an opportunity to catch up. There's definitely some games where I'm like, ooh, I could go either way. And you know, this team's maybe a bit of an underdog. I'll go with this. So I'm interested
Yeah.
to see what you picked.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump right into our AFC playoff picture here. So not a lot of shifting. You will see that the Bills are currently still sitting outside of the playoffs. But they are charging fast. Jacksonville kind of barely holding on there, right? Houston now is 8-6. They both got the same record, so that's a little scary, a little iffy. Kansas City, like we said, needed this game. Denver dropped one, so Denver dropping one made it helped things out in the AFC West as well. Baltimore on top. Miami.
I didn't think I can pick a playoff pitcher. Like I think for sure you've got Baltimore, KC, Miami.
Yeah.
Browns. Like I think you can kick Jacksonville out, but I think the Texans and Bills need to be in there. But I also think the Bengals and Colts should be like.
I think the Bills make the run no problem. I think you're right. So you've got Baltimore, Miami, KC. I think those are there. Okay. And Baltimore being the only one that's actually clinched at this point. And then I don't think either one of Jacksonville or Houston. I keep skipping over Indianapolis. Indianapolis has got a pretty favorable game this week, I think. We'll see. But
yeah. Well, they might win that division, right?
That's what I'm saying, is that Indianapolis could win that one too. And I think you probably have to drop one out of there. And the way that I think if you get CJ Stroud back, he's still in concussion protocol. So what you might see is so Mike's, week 18 match, the Texans Colts. I think that might be for the division. Where Jacksonville might find themselves out of the playoffs altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Falcons, Raiders, Texans. But the problem is the Texans have the Browns and the Titans, which I don't think are super easy games for them, especially if Stroud's out. And
No,
then they
no,
got
I
to go play
agree.
the Colts, right? So like,
Yeah,
I could see the Texans dropping 2 of those 3 games,
yeah,
where the Colts could pick up 2 of the 3.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like the AFC's tight, and I think all of these teams are pretty. I'm not a fan of the Steelers, but I think all the other teams I think I would enjoy watching in the playoffs. Maybe
Yeah,
not the
and the
Jags
way the
too.
Bengals are playing right now, the
They
Bengals
look great.
are yeah, they're holding that spot. Like I don't think there's any reason to think that until I think until the Browns and the Bengals lose, there's no reason to think that anybody should kick them out. I think really I think it's the AFC South that's got to sort things out. Once the AFC South sorts it out, then it's the Bills. You know, the Bills are probably going to run the table the rest of the way out,
Yeah,
right? What's the Bills schedule look like?
that's a good question. I can
I don't
tell
have
you in
all
a
my
second.
stuff here, so that's why I'm kind of half-ass.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Uh,
I thought they had a tough schedule because I was like,
no,
oh,
Chargers. They have the Dolphins last
okay.
of the week.
Yeah,
So
so I was saying they have a tough schedule because they had Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, which they beat Chiefs and Cowboys, and then they ran into the Dolphins at the end. I think for the last little while, I was like, oh, tough schedule. But the
yeah,
next 2 they should
they
take
made
for
it
sure.
through. Yeah, they've got the Chargers and the Patriots, and then finish up with the Dolphins. So that could be interesting for the AFC East
Yeah,
finale. So could be interesting. Uh, all right. NFC playoff picture. All
this is a
right.
mess.
So is what a mess? Yeah,
Oh,
it
it's
can
a
be.
mess.
So okay, so the 49ers right now, they can clinch the NFC #1 position this week with a win, Dallas, Philly, and Detroit loss. So it is a completely long shot, not likely to happen, but it's actually on the table. So they could clinch it this week. Um, so I mean, and already the biggest hurdle in the whole equation is getting the win because of who they have to play this week.
Yeah.
Uh, Dallas and Philly, that's an interesting look because of um, uh, the tie how the tie breaks break down if Philly runs the table now. And then what happens in these last 2 wild card spots? Like Tampa holds the South. I don't think Tampa gives up the South.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think they still have to play New Orleans, right? So I think that's probably the decider.
Yep.
I can check to see who New Orleans is playing, but Bucks got Jags this weekend, and they have as well. They've got the Saints after that, and then the Panthers. So you're expecting them to beat the Panthers. Jags, Saints could probably go either way on both those games.
Yeah.
But I think the Saints have the Panthers as well. Oh no, the Saints got the Rams, Bucks, Falcons. So yeah, I don't know. I think the deciding factor is probably their game next week, right? The Saints and Bucks. But
Yeah.
yeah, how are the Vikings still in? It is amazing. Imagine if Kirk Cousins was still around. I think we'd be doing all right. But yeah, yeah, it's either Bucks or Saints that hold that South spot. And then yeah, your last 2, I think you get the Rams in there for sure. And then probably the Seahawks. If the Vikings win this weekend,
Well, there's really if you're saying the Rams are in there for sure, there's only 1 wild card spot to give up then.
yeah, and I think it's either the
That's it.
Seahawks or so it's gonna be Seahawks, Saints, or Vikings. Like if the Bucks hold.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, okay.
wouldn't go with Falcons or Packers. I think if the Vikings
Packers
just
have a favorable schedule, but I think they need help.
Yeah. I mean, like they need the Vikings to lose. So the Vikings have to play Detroit twice
Yeah.
in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think Yeah, like I think definitely that the Vikings need to win this weekend to keep their chances alive.
And then they play the Packers next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So
So it's
that's
NFC
the
North,
flip.
NFC
That could
North,
be the
NFC
flip. Yeah. Yeah.
North. Yeah, yeah. Vikings win here. I'm gonna comfortably say they take the other wild card spot, but I think the Rams definitely get a wild card spot. And yeah. I mean the Seahawks are close too, but if the way that like if we run the table and so do the Seahawks and Rams, for example, does that mean the Vikings get the spot? Is that how this is playing out? If they've got
You have to
them
look at
listed
you have
at
to look and
6?
see what the schedule is and see how it would play out. Sorry, if the Vikings run the table.
Yeah, so let's say 6, 7, 8 all run the table.
Yeah.
The way that this playoff picture is designed, I would assume the Vikings get the spot over the Seahawks and the Rams get the spot over the Seahawks, even though the Rams and the Seahawks probably are playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Either way, it's definitely Lions, Bucks or Saints.
Yeah.
Rams, and then this playoff picture sucks. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some answers this week. We'll see.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it'll definitely shake out a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
Or make it look way worse. Like
Yeah,
if the
who knows?
Falcons win, Packers win. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It could definitely. Well, the Packers win. The Packers have a great chance of winning. They're playing Carolina, so
Yeah.
you can almost guarantee. You can. I don't want to say guarantee it, but there's a damn
good
good
chance.
chance the Packers going to win
Yeah.
this game, right? So,
Yeah.
so they're already at 7 and 8. So it all depends on what the other lads decide to do. So,
Mhm.
all right, let's do it.
Do it.
Here we go. So just the three of us with our picks this week. So I got New Orleans and LA visiting the Rams. We went the Rams across the board. I think, after talking the NFC playoff picture there, I think we both agree that the Rams are probably stronger of the teams.
I think they're the strongest wild card team. Maybe not more stronger than the Eagles or the Cowboys, whichever one of them ends up being. But yeah, they're the strongest of the wild cards. That's not Eagles or Cowboys, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Into our parlays. So again, follow Reg if you want. Reg is
you're covered till next season, folks.
Covered till next season. So here you go, Reg. What do you got?
Rams money line. Cooper Kupp always gets in for a touchdown. That's not true, but he will.
You'd like to believe it.
Night.
Yep. Yep.
Jimmy Graham's on a 3-game touchdown streak. He has like 8 receptions in the whole season, and it seems like I'm pretty sure he's got like the best TD to catch ratio ever in the NFL because he's got 10 catches and 5 touchdowns or something like that. It's like 50%. It's insane. Yeah, and they found him in the red zone. So if I was playing defense and Jimmy Graham is in the red zone, I would just be triple covering him because he just seems to always get a touchdown. So
Yep. Don't disagree. Rob liked Taysom Hill this week.
Or but under rushing yards?
Yeah, under rushing yards. Yeah, so but he got for a touchdown. Yeah. So should be interesting. Yeah. I found him at the old age home. Under 22.5 rushing yards for Rob on Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill with the anytime touchdown, and Matthew Stafford with over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
So he's expecting a receiving touchdown. I'm assuming from Taysom Hill, or
I'm assuming
like
that's
a
what
goal line, like little.
Yeah, kind of like one of those flats kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, they use them in that package every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Puka Nacua on the anytime touchdown. Total points under 45.5. Thursday football sucks. Derek Carr under 229.5 passing yards. But I do have Matty Stafford over 247.5 passing yards.
I feel like Stafford's always at the 270 to 300 range. So I
feel
pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So 1,600 for the bet line. So not too shabby. All right.
I would be, yeah. I was gonna say I would be interested to see Derek Carr's numbers because like it seems like Detroit puts up 40 points, but then the other team puts up 40 points. So I would expect it's Thursday football. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Derek Carr, he has a lot of problems with his receivers, right? So we'll see what happens. Cincinnati visiting Pittsburgh. Okay, so AFC North showdown. Cincinnati's playing really good ball right now. Pittsburgh is kind of in a little bit of turmoil. We took Cincinnati across the board. Got anything special you want to talk about there?
No, I mean the Bengals turned this season around. Burrow got hurt, and I thought, their season has now gone to shit after they turned it around. And Browning has just kept rolling with it. There is no
Yeah.
frowning with
Oh,
Browning
Jesus.
being the quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
And the Bengals
Are we gonna do this every
are
week or what?
on a 1, 2. Oh no, they lost. Okay, they lost to the Steelers and the Ravens, but they're on a 3-game winning streak. Yeah, I mean, how can you not go with the Bengals? I don't know. Jake
Yeah.
Browning has done amazing. He's actually potentially the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Just trying to fucking get me going or what? Is that what it is? Is that your shot? Shoot your shot and see if you can light the match or what?
I mean, over the last 3 games.
Yeah, I know. It's always.
I'm just gonna tell you what he's got.
I know over the last 3 games. I know. I get it.
Yeah. It's like he's hot right now. I'm not saying he's the.
It was like Purdy at the end of the year last year, right?
He's not the MVP. He's not the best quarterback in the league. He's just the hottest quarterback right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. He's got pretty good numbers when I'm looking at them.
Okay, Buffalo at the head coachless LA Chargers. So we took Buffalo.
Head coach.
I don't
Special
know.
teams?
No, they're gonna do I don't know. They fired the GM too, so fired the GM too. So everybody's getting fired in Charger land. So Buffalo across the board here. Buffalo is playing some damn good ball. The Chargers are not. There's always that case of, does the team play spirited after they get rid of their head coach? Sometimes it happens. I think we remember the times when it happens. I think we forget the times that it doesn't. So it's already happened this year when the Raiders did it, right? So
Yeah.
the possibility is always there, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Buffalo, like I said, strong football right now, especially if they're not depending on Josh Allen to score to win them games. If he's just part of the process or part of the puzzle, then I expect big things from them here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Seattle, Tennessee. Here's one for you, Reg. Can't believe you took Tennessee here. What?
So the only thing is like the Titans play really well at home. Really, really well at home. Yeah, and like Seattle has been okay. I'm not like super impressed by Seattle. I think they've played well enough, but they are playing to their competition, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Right, like all of their games are really close lately, and I'm not sold on Drew Lock. I don't know if Gino's playing, but Tennessee has played amazing at home this year. I think they're 4-1 or something like that in Tennessee. So, yeah.
Okay. Indianapolis at Atlanta. What do you got here, man?
I've got Indy beating the shit out of them. Like, how can Atlanta lose to Carolina? I know it was a monsoon game, but yeah, Indy should take this handily. Minshew mania. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Taylor's back too. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like Indy to take this one, no problem. I think they are. There's an upper echelon here between the two teams. Indianapolis is just a stronger team. The NFC South, they make each other look like they're competent teams, but I think outside of the NFC South, they're just not. So they are in definitely the lower of the 3 divisions for sure, or the 4 divisions. Sorry. Cleveland and Houston. Oof, I can't believe we all did it.
Yeah, I mean, if Stroud's playing, I'm all for it. But
I had Houston. I had Houston until I looked it up, and I was like, I can't do it.
Is he out?
Well, they said he's likely to be out, but he's in concussion protocol. So if on Wednesday he hasn't started clearing the process, it's difficult to get out of it then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think if Stroud plays, this is an easy Houston game. I mean, Flacco's playing for Cleveland, right? Like he's
Yeah.
playing okay. He just seems to throw it to Njoku, and that's the only thing he's
Uh,
got going. Occasionally to Amari Cooper, occasionally.
yeah.
Um,
Some
but
sweet balls this week.
yeah, there was a couple of
Yeah.
good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Cleveland was traveling into Houston, even though Houston's home atmosphere might not be the greatest, but with Stroud playing, I would take Houston for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If between now and the game we find out
I
that
would
Stroud
flip
is
it.
playing,
Yeah.
I'm flipping it for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm making sure that everybody's aware of that.
Just skip this one.
Green
Don't
Bay.
worry about this one.
Yeah. Green Bay goes into
wins.
Carolina. Yeah. Wins that one. Washington at New York Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys were planning for something here? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the Jets suck. Washington's not great. I'm thinking maybe the Jets can get behind some sort of run game at home. Maybe do
Yeah.
something. Every
Well,
once
you
in a
just
while.
saw that they didn't score any points, so
Yeah, but the week before they scored like 30. I forget who they were playing. I don't think they were playing a good team, but it's like I don't know.
yeah.
It's a coin flip for me, and I just went with the home team. Really,
That's fair. Yeah, no problem. I did not. I went with Washington. I think
is Sam Howell hurt? I think he was.
well, either way, I'm still going with Washington because I think the Jets are inept. I don't think they're able to do anything.
They are inept.
Detroit at Minnesota, NFC North. Ooh, Rob and I took Detroit here. Probably not surprised that Rob took Detroit. You took Minnesota. Probably not a surprise that you took Minnesota. I guess I split the difference and I took Detroit. I think Detroit needs. I'd like to think that Detroit wins this game to help them build their momentum into the playoffs.
Yep.
I think that if they don't win this game, they're going to make it in the playoffs. Like I'm pretty sure of that because they haven't clinched yet. But I don't want to see them limp into the playoffs. And a win here would be a big deal, right? So
even if they lose out, I'm pretty sure the odds are still in their favor that they make it because they're still a 10-win team. Yeah, I'm just taking Minnesota here. It's at home. Minnesota's looked pretty good. Not the week before. They looked good last week and the week before the Raiders 3-0 win. Definitely not locking it in. This is Minnesota's like we're making the playoffs or we're not making the playoffs game. So it's a winner go home for the rest of the season, I think. So yeah. That's why I went with Minnesota.
Fair enough. Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, down there in Florida.
I
locked in Tampa Bay. I think Jacksonville's playing shitty right now. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. At the start of the season, I did. I actually like his style of play, but he he's making a lot of bad mistakes right now. I don't know if he's just trying to force issues, if he's trying to make plays bigger than what they are. I don't know what it is. But then again, you've got Baker Mayfield on the other side where he puts a perfect passer rating last week, and this week he'll throw 4 interceptions and
he'll have a
fucking it'll be absolutely brutal. So
that's actually why I picked Jacksonville, because I thought Baker had an amazing game. He can't have 2.
He'll fall apart. Yeah, he'll fall apart.
I think again, this is kind of the same thing I was saying about it's really the same for both teams. Like this is we need to make the playoffs. We need to win this game. So I think Jacksonville has more talent, really.
Well, I don't know. Like there's quite a bit of talent in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Like it's true. It's true. All right. Arizona, Chicago. Rob took Arizona. Chicago's playing not terrible football right now.
Yeah, they're in every game. And I think they're going to beat up on Arizona, actually.
Yeah, they're a lot better than what they were like the second quarter of the season, right? Where they were just awful. They're definitely a better team right now. So I expect them to go beat the hell out of Arizona here.
I expect them to run all over them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Fields and what's his name? Foreman?
Yeah.
I think that's who
Deontay.
and they got the other guy too, the other running back. But Yeah, I think they'll run all over them, and yeah, fuck
Yep.
Kyler.
Fuck. He threw an interception on during the game, and of course, they got the big close up on his face as he's walking, as he's on the sideline, and I snickered. I just giggled, and Jen was like, "Oh, I was waiting for that," like
I was waiting.
because I just yeah. Anyway, I was very very pleased. Dallas at Miami. We took Miami across the board with Reg on a lock. So
Yeah,
we're not feeling the Cowboys train right now.
I've been high on
Um,
Dallas. Miami offensively is, I think they're one of the best offensive teams in the league, maybe behind San Francisco. I'm trying to think of
they're
other teams.
explosive, man. They're fun to watch. They're
Yeah,
fast. Holy moly!
and Dallas, like, they looked terrible from behind when they were playing the Bills, and Miami comes out and scores.
I
They've
think
got a
Dak
good
threw
running
for
attack.
140 yards and
Yeah.
one interception.
I don't
Zero
think did he
touchdowns.
throw a pick? I don't think he did.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
0 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah. Yeah, like Miami's running attack's good. Tua's playing amazing. If they get Tyreek Hill back, I don't know if they are. That's great. Otherwise, Waddle will get another 200 yards, and whoever's playing against Waddle in fantasy football, too bad you're about to lose. Yeah, yeah, Dallas could very well show up and win this game, but I'm on the Miami train. I think they made a statement against the Jets because, like, the Jets are a good defense, and they came out and made
Yeah.
them look sad.
Yep, yep, I agree with that. I think the Dallas is phony. I think that they've won against all the teams that they were supposed to win against, and I think that Philly, they split it. Philly was also not playing super well when they beat them. So I just think that Dallas is not as good as they're billed out to be. So and as you saw, there was some big holes there that Buffalo exploited. And is there a field advantage when you're playing Dallas? If you're in one of those colder climates where you're outside, is that a thing? Right? I know obviously it's not going to play
on
in.
the road too. Like,
It's not gonna play into effect here, but it might down the road. So
yeah,
uh,
when I look at Dallas, I think there was probably 4 years ago, the Packers went 12-4.
yeah,
And I'm pretty sure they were the worst 12-4 team I've ever seen in my life. And it's not
Yeah.
even because, not even like fuck the Packers kind of thing. They just they did what Dallas is doing this year. Like, they just beat the hell out of teams they're supposed to beat, but couldn't beat any good team. So
yeah. New England at Denver. No faith in New England. New England, possibly next to Carolina, is the worst team in the league.
yeah. I think they are the second worst team. I think Carolina is
Carolina's pretty
definitely number one.
Yeah, Carolina's pretty bad. Denver, a little bit of a shouting match on the sideline there between Russ and Sean Payton. Russ just kind of took it, so Sean kind of laid into him. So we'll see if they bounce back and get this win. But the three of us think that that's going to be the case. I don't think New England goes into Denver and plays any better than they played at home. That's for sure. So
Zap
yeah,
is going to make it happen.
I don't think so.
No.
Vegas to Kansas City. Okay, interdivision. Vegas going to Kansas City. Kansas City needed the win last week. They got it. They have some momentum to build on. They need to continue building on it. It's kind of like who was I talking about earlier? They needed to build them. Oh, Detroit. Same situation here for me.
Yeah.
Detroit and Kansas City are the opposites or parallels in each conference. Where okay, like you're there, you're hanging around, but now it's time to like fix all the stuff and be consistent and do the things, right? So I expect them to win this game. Do I expect them to blow them out? I don't know. I just want to see a better, a more fundamentally sound game from them, I think is what I want.
Could you imagine if the Raiders come back and put up another 63 points? And all of a sudden we're like, wow,
Denver for the playoffs.
yeah, we're just like, holy shit. And the Raiders are a real team all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah,
I think, yeah, I agree with you. Like, this is a team that you need to, or the game that you need to get the momentum rolling into the playoffs. Kansas City D is significantly better than the Chargers D.
Mhm.
So we will definitely not see a 63-point game from the Raiders, but
correct.
yeah, I mean, interdivision games, right? Anything can happen.
It's true.
Kansas City has looked rough in the division, right? Like they dropped one to Denver earlier. I think they were a very close game to Vegas earlier in the year.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, and like they're, they don't have a lot of momentum. So
yeah,
yeah.
cool. Giants and Philly. Rob took Philly for the lock here. This is so 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I kind of predicted. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. I said, last week when I picked against Philly, I said that they were gonna lose that one. They were gonna go to Seattle and lose it, and this is their get right. So they draw. I was talking to Luke earlier. Luke obviously is an Eagles fan, and they dropped their 3. They didn't look great, but now they've still got an opportunity to fix things and get right for the playoffs. And this is where it starts for them. I think the Giants they're a great springboard for them. I don't see Philly losing this game. Even if the Giants come out and play a really solid game, I think that Philly finds their way to get this over with. And it this is the start of them seeing, hey, look, we can still do this and we can still play.
Yeah. I think a big thing for Philadelphia is they need to get turnovers. Because I think they turned the ball over 3 times against the Seahawks, but didn't force any turnovers. Right. So it's just like they need to start forcing turnovers if
Right.
Hurts is going to make mistakes or, they're going to fumble. Like they need to get better turnover differential. They've got to have a pretty bad one for the season. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, the Eagles are they should.
Yeah, I think they're in the negative.
And maybe get a couple like beat the shit out of them kind of thing. That would make them feel a bit better, but
yeah, if they handily beat the hell out of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right. And there's the biggie, Christmas night, folks, 8:00. Don't know what you're doing, but if you're not tuning in, if you're a football fan and you're not watching this game, I don't really know what to say. I know it's Christmas. I know all that kind of stuff, but by then all the stuff's been done. You've all had your Christmas Day naps, and it's time to watch football. And this is one game that
this is the Super Bowl.
You are not supposed to miss this game because they're going to, when they, if these two teams happen to meet each other in the Super Bowl, and Reg has been saying it for a while, and, we may have talked about it at the beginning of the year and stuff like that, but they're going to come back to this game and they're going to say, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when that happened? All that kind of stuff. So you want to see it. You want to see what it looks like.
It was Santa Claus.
No, yeah. Santa Claus already showed up. He'd already been there. Yeah. There's none of that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Either way, that's right. Rob went with Baltimore. I kind of expected that. I would have never expected Rob. Any opportunity he gets to bet against the Niners, he will take it. So there it is. San Francisco, I still believe most complete team all around. I'd feel a lot better knowing that our 2 starting defensive tackles, Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave, are playing. That would make me feel a lot better. Charvarius Ward right now is currently kind of in the talks for top corner, right? Like he's playing some serious good ball. We got a rookie at safety. So we've got the people on defense to be able to hang around. I like our linebackers with Lamar and his scrambling. The reality is that Lamar's going to scramble. He's going to run and he's going to get first downs and he's going to make plays. You just can't allow those plays to pile up and you can't make mistakes, right? If you want to win this game, you're just going to have to play your game and execute. So, looked for Ayuk last week, and they missed him on a bunch of deep throws. I don't know if they'll go back to him this week. I think last week was his week to he was going to be the showcase player. You're probably looking at more of a Kittle. This will be a Kittle game. Probably a Kittle, McCaffrey, and Debo's been playing so friggin' well right now that a couple of tosses to him, a couple of screens, bubble screens, and things like that. It should be good. Baltimore's a good team, though. I don't want to take anything away from them. I think that I'm excited for it. Obviously, I'd love to win this one, but
Yeah,
I want to be in it. I want to be in the game. That's what I want. I want to be in the game.
yeah. My concern is for the Ravens is that they ran into, I guess, a similar offense in the Rams a couple weeks ago, and the Rams put up a lot of points against them. The difference is the Ravens were able to go ahead and put up more points against the Rams, but I don't think the San Francisco defense and the Rams defense are even close to being on the same level. And I think that's the big difference here is that the San Fran offense is actually going to be able to break the Ravens defense similar to the way that the Rams did. And Baltimore's going to be playing catch up, and I don't think they'll be able to catch up.
Yeah,
and I do think like they are the two best teams in the league. I really do. I do think this is the Super Bowl. But I do think San Francisco is significant. And I know we were talking about this in texts the other day, and it's just, I think they're, if you have a ladder, it's San Francisco here, Baltimore here, and then the rest of the NFL a couple rungs down from Baltimore. But San Francisco feels like they're a few rungs up on Baltimore alone. So it'll be an interesting game for sure. But I do think that San Fran offense, they executed well against Baltimore. And we'll see if Baltimore's fixed the holes that Stafford and the Rams exposed, I guess. But
what you could expect, and it kind of has been the trademark of the Niners over these last couple of weeks where they played a couple of big teams, is first two drives from the opponents is like getting punched in the mouth, right? Like Philly drove down, kicked 2 field goals. Seattle drove, scored touchdown and a field goal. I think so these teams they're scoring. So I think the team right now knows how to win, because Lamar's probably going to do that. They're probably going to drive down the field and punch one in or kick a field goal and put points on the board. And I think as long as the team remembers that, hey, we're still in the games. It's not just because it's Baltimore doesn't mean we're down. And I think you're right. I think if San Fran can put 35 to 42 points up on the board, I don't know that Baltimore can put that many up. No. But is San Fran going to have to put that many up just to win? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Like the Ravens have put up, 30 points, 37 points. They're like in the last 8 weeks, like they had a lot of 30-point games.
Yeah.
But
not against San Francisco.
Not against San Francisco, exactly. And I mean, like one of them was against the Chargers, who have an abysmal defense. Right?
Sure.
So, I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think it is definitely the preview for the Super Bowl, and
I mean,
I really
if you guys
watch it because I'm gonna be at the in-laws. So.
for all of our viewers, listeners, all that kind of stuff, if you haven't had a chance to watch a Baltimore Ravens game this year, like, I know that the Niners have been all over the TV and all that kind of stuff, but if you haven't had an opportunity to watch the Ravens play, they are a great football team to watch. They are really, really good football. So I strongly, strongly encourage this game.
Yeah, so I think we were talking about this when we were talking about a Super Bowl preview, and it might have just been off air with Luke, and I was saying, like, if the Niners make it to the Super Bowl, they're probably the team I'd be cheering for, because I usually if the Vikings make it, I would cheer for the Vikings, but the Vikings never make it. So usually what I do is I cheer for the team that is the most exciting and fun to watch. So I'm like, I'd probably cheer for the Niners. Baltimore's a close second, right? So if they show up, I'm very like,
it's a good game.
I don't know who I'm going to cheer for, kind of thing. Like I might just be neutral, but So
agreed. All right, well, that's all I got, man. What about you? You good?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a quicker episode tonight, but that's
As two of
good.
us.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is just the two of us, but we'll wrap it up there.
Couple of
Thanks
you,
for whoever hung out
yeah.
and yeah, for whoever was here to hang out and listen.
Asking questions,
Appreciate it.
talking stuff. Yep.
Yeah. And if you guys can, like, comment, subscribe, follow it on Spotify,
Pass it
Apple
on.
Podcasts,
Share it
all
with
that
your
good stuff.
friends. Let people know. Yeah.
Let people know that we're doing this.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah.
So
We try.
Rob
We try.
obviously doesn't because he doesn't show up. So.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And this Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll see you in between.
Yeah. Post Christmas. All right.
Post Christmas. All right.
Merry ho ho.
Peace. See ya.